into it, Reg.
Yeah, let's
Так,
go
ну надеюсь, трансляция
right
спустилась.
into the card leaks. This is gonna be fun, guys. We are monitoring the chats as well. Everyone is a part of this. It is not just us six here, it is all of us. A lot of the chats were having a good time with the self-burn spam. That is quite a good one. That is great. That is great.
I do want to say something first though, Reg, before we do get started. First of all, of course, everyone that's in the chat, welcome to you guys. We will be keeping an eye on the chat, so make sure you are communicating in there. What we do have today,
so that they make sense. And along with that, we've opened up the runes and charms on the side. We won't be seeing those here on screen, but we will have a think about those new runes and charms as well, because those are new mechanics as well that we are going to be combining with all of these. So it's going to be a wild ride. That is what we are here to see.
So I think the first slide we have implementations of, like we said, there are mechanics that are going to be revolving around the cards to do with plants. That will be changing.
Nice.
We do need to take a look at these mechanics first. I think it's important that we understand the mechanics before we get into the cards. So let's take a look at these. I actually haven't looked at these at all. Don't know what the hell we're going to look at here. But Sleep and Leaf.
Let's jump right in. Awesome. Sleep. Sleep is, while this Axie has Sleep, Sleep used to be actually...
Плентов появляется Sleep
for the turn. And that can't do anything. That Axie can't be woken up unless, for example, that same turn you attack that sleeping Axie that wakes up. It's now a totally different thing. Our guests are reading it together with us right now. So Sleep is while we can see it live on stream. While this Axie has Sleep, next time it plays a card, negate that card, then remove Sleep. And then aside from that, when this Axie is attacked, remove Sleep. So it's the same concept. Whenever the Axie gets attacked, you remove the Sleep. But instead of sleeping for the whole turn, you are sleeping for one move.
Wow, that's actually very interesting.
That is wild.
Well, we have the perfect panel here for it. I mean, any one of you guys can really take to this one, but this is an interesting interaction change that happens here.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I guess I like it a lot. I think Sleep was very oppressive previously. If you use it, you could technically destroy an entire hand. So this way, it also has more consistency because it does if you don't attack them, they're still gonna be slept. Right? So you actually play a card to remove it. So even if you sleep them on one turn, but then they don't break it that turn, they will still need to break it later on to be able to remove it. So I think it has more consistency and less oppressive.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this suits the plant outlook. I know we haven't got into the cards yet, but like in the back of my mind, it always is. They're quite a passive class. Yes,
я поэтому не спешил, знал, что они будут очень много болтать.
Being able to leave and make the decision to choose to keep an Axie asleep, to force them to have to waste a card to wake it up, seems like a deeper layer of interchanging between players. So I'm
That's true.
I like this one.
And one of the most prominent sleep cards we had before, I guess, was Rosa. Then it fell off the radar for a while. Rosa was really strong when it was strong. Like for a banish card, you get to make an Axie skip a turn, and then filter out the deck. That was a really solid card. We'll now see what it looks like as we move towards those plant cards. It's gonna be exciting stuff. Next, we've got we've got Leaf as well. Leaf actually is another one that is interesting to have a look. Let's jump back to the cards actually. Yep, so Leaf is heal 3 HP per leaf at the end of your turn, maximum of 10 stacks. It used to be, if I remember correctly, heal 5 HP and a maximum of 5 stacks. So that is quite a difference. So now you've got a bigger...
Не, я понимаю, что по делу они болтают, но...
But you got less...
Ничего же непонятно. Мы можем только картиночки читать.
Starts to scream a bit of offense here. Maybe the Leafy boys are going to see some more opportunities. This is exciting, man. I don't think we need to spend too much time on Leaf itself.
Так, когда этот Axie накладывает слип, мне в следующее время карты игроков не могут, короче... Хорошо, что ты понимаешь, в английском слаб. Можешь добавлять комментарии.
And then if you're at 10 stacks, it gives 20 damage. It's a lot.
Yeah,
right?
that's a big,
If
that's a big.
That's what it was. If Leafy stays the same, it will be an insane Leafy damage, right?
That is true. You
We
are
don't- we
correct.
There's
Fine.
no way. There's no way Leafy stays the same. With 10 stacks,
That would be
I'm
wild.
just saying. I'm just saying.
Are we gonna have one angry thieving at the end of this? Is it okay? So
my
let's
God.
find out.
Spam getting all of the
Нас
leafy
ты чекаешь
actions.
или всего лишь?
Spam just sweeping
Не так
floors.
это интересно.
So,
Мне почему...
Yeah,
Так,
I
надо
love it.
потише
You
сделать.
already gave away a strategy yesterday on Twitter.
Мне почему этот стрим интересен, первый, понять, насколько вообще меняются карты, насколько поменяется мета. Ну, насколько правильно говорить, насколько, я имею в виду, можно ли будет играть старыми составами или прям все поменяется. Листы теперь хилить будут. Так они же хилили до этого. Листы хилили до этого. О, так, ретерн, ну это понятно, клинс. 3 стака на 3 хода. О, клинс приобретает силу. Муншром... Ну, Муншром такой же, в принципе, остался. Одна атака мимо, то есть одну карту тратишь. Ну, нормально. Это слип. Слип, он, да, он же слабый. А вот... Руптилевская фиолетовая круглая завитушка, как она называется? Чомп. Чомп, я так понимаю, будет полностью блокировать.
Useful and also could be hindrance if not, you know.
Так, а почему не работает чат? Сейчас,
It's a
секунду,
new
ребят.
dynamic for a card to have. Probably
Донат,
on a card
камера,
that is
чат. Почему нет
healing related,
чата?
but that's me assuming things. Let's move on to cleanse.
Вот, блин,
As
мы
we know,
без чата,
cleanse,
походу, дела.
cleanse and cleanser were quite confusing before.
Ладно.
So,
Телега,
maybe
диск,
we'll see some
донаты,
changes with
камера. Странно,
But
пропал
we
чат.
can see cleanse here
Ладно.
now says that it will remove 1 debuff from target up to 3 stacks or 3 turns. Now, I'm gonna need help with this one. I don't know if I can't read English anymore, but how do we, like, what are we
I'm with
thinking?
you on that one.
I believe my understanding. You can see here, guys, that we're unsure as well. So we have not seen this before. But my understanding of this is, for example, something like poison. You remove 3 stacks of that poison.
Yeah.
Or, for example, something like vulnerable.
Ну, получается, клинс хорошо будет отрабатывать
If you
против
cleanse, you just
яда.
remove the vulnerable. If you've been hit by vulnerable twice, you're vulnerable for 8 turns. So cleanse removes 3 of those vulnerable turns. I'm not sure. That is my understanding of this as I am reading it right now. So, what do you guys think?
Oh, I got it. Okay, so if, let's say Grandma's fan activates for 4 turns, then it'll remove 3 stacks.
I believe
or
so.
3 turns from that, so you'll have 1
Oh, so you
turn
have
of
1 turn.
Grandma's fan.
Okay.
Okay, that
yeah.
makes sense. Thank
That
you,
makes
big brain, ruthless Reg.
It was tricky. I had to read it out 3 times.
Yeah.
That is wild. I guess it balances out, like in the sense that you get to utilize vulnerable as much as you can, and it's not gonna be wasted if you swing with 2 vulnerables and it just gets confidented away, something like that.
Exactly. That's gonna feel good. I like the way you cleanse.
Видите, Машрум теперь хилит всех. Он хилил самого слабого по хп, Аксика, теперь он хилит всех на 8.
we can see spam screen going from bright to
Nah,
dark.
I just let you guys
I'm kidding. I'm joking. And then we've got Mushroom as well. Summon a Mushroom plant, 24 HP.
Mushroom.
When your turn ends, all allied Axies are healed for an amount equal to this summon's remaining HP. And then it loses
Листы
8
подняли
HP.
до
So
10
instead
стаков.
of
Точно,
healing
было
for
их до
X
5,
amount
теперь
of
до 10.
health
Блин.
every turn, it is
Но
now
это
depending
убийственно.
on
Если
the
Лифи,
HP.
помните такую карту,
Well, the Mushroom's got more
будет отрабатывать
health
так
as
же,
well,
то
right?
10
Now,
стаков
the
это вообще
beefy boy.
убийственно.
Gotta love
Хотя эту
Mushroom,
карту
but,
могут
you
поменять,
know, I
логично.
think this is,
Получается, пленты могут отхиливаться, в принципе, даже на 400 хп при желании. Если накидают
It
карты.
actually saw a lot of action near the end when there were a lot of tankiness, and imagine swinging with a Shiba and all you're gonna hit is a tiny mushroom. That is-
Ну да, вы если что мне подсказываете, потому что я эксперт больше по бестам, а по плантам могу что-то не знать. Гриб призывает грибного стиля, когда ваш ход заканчивается, все аксики, находящиеся в составе, стреляют на количество равное оставшихся хп этого призыва, затем теряют 8 хп. Я понял. А гриб хилит всех теперь, да, про это я говорил. А клин снимает 5 стаков сейчас, а будет 3. Так, ладно, сейчас смотрим карты. Ну, кукумбер изменили, да?
Here we go.
Nice.
Here we
Okay.
go. Alright, eyes. I guess this is categorized by...
Папе
body
был
part.
45,
So
да?
starting with eyes, we've got
О, папе
40
добавляет
cards
один лист.
right now.
Reg, you can
Starting
take the first one, man. I think
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got this.
I can
Мне
go ahead with
кажется,
the
что
first
за
one. We've
Axie
got
это полная
Blossom. Our
шляпа.
first one's a zero cost. If
Ну.
initial, select one plant card.
Не
from
знаю,
your
с каждым
discard
сезоном
pile.
все интереснее и
Otherwise,
интереснее
select
играть.
from your draw pile.
плане
Put the selected card
игровой
on top
механики.
of your draw pile and then banish.
А во что вы
Personally, I
играете?
like
В какую карту?
That you have tech now. Blossom is not a one-card thing anymore. That you search for something, put to the top of the deck. Now it becomes an option. And when you've
Ну,
got
Конфузион
options in a
остался
game
такой
that is a
же,
card game,
добавляет
you
одну карту
increase the
проклятия в
technicality,
колоду.
you make
В
everyone
принципе,
think
такая
that
же
much
карта
harder.
осталась. Но это радует, то есть нет
Zio,
какой-то
what do you think
глубокой
about this
переделки.
card, my friend?
Yeah, Blossom used to help like everybody to arm your strategy. I think right now it's more.
Папе ретейн. О, не обратил внимания, спасибо,
Everything is
Константин.
gonna
Да,
be,
папе
like, more
ретейн.
dynamic this season.
Фу,
How the use
если
of
папе
energies,
ретейн,
has increased.
то
I
опять-таки
think
офигеть, как
it's
для
one
плентов
plus
это
two use,
удобно.
like,
То есть она у тебя
more-
вылетела.
more
А,
action
единственное, видите, она
during
теперь не
matches.
хилит тебя.
think
Она не
this is the
хилит
way.
тебя, если она
Yeah, no,
попала
I-
в колоду,
I
а
can-
до этого она
I can
хилила.
definitely see how it-
Ну, нормальное изменение, такое, в
It gives
принципе.
the player more options, more
Логичное.
control over the way that they're playing as well.
Кукумбер тоже ретейн? А, и кукумбер
To be
ретейн.
honest, Blossom, not massively interesting.
Так, кукумбер
but,
что
you
у
know,
нас
it has
делает?
some
Лечит
utility there.
всех, и
My eyes
карточка
are
генерирует
swaying
10
over
бонусов
towards the right
хила
side of the screen.
за каждый
I don't
возвращенный
think we will
ход.
read every single
А,
card
короче,
word
она
for word
хилит
you
на
guys hear
10,
it,
а
you
если
obviously
мы ее
you
будем
can
хранить у
use
себя в
effects,
руке, то
for
можем
yourself. One
нахилить
that we
до
can see here
50.
is confused.
Ну, блин,
it
прикольно. Короче, поднимает капитально плентов.
So that is one that will
Я так считаю.
It has shuffle one.
Внезапно.
Yes,
Что же
it
будет
has
по другим
changed
классам?
A lot.
Потому что так ты не пробьешь плента вообще
Yeah.
никак.
So
Well, then,
the
Zeddy?
difference
Причем
difference
ждете
before was
СЛП.
you had it shuffle into the
Особо не
discard
жду
pile. While
сейчас.
this one you're setting up the next turn of
Хотелось
your
бы,
opponent. For example, it's the last two
центов по
cards.
10-20.
It gives
So
them
now
a
it's immediate.
Но для этого
Yeah.
нужно еще где-то
big change.
годик
So what do you guys think
активной
about
игры,
this?
как в первом сезоне,
Zelig,
когда
what do you
сожгутся
think?
все
I
лишние
can see here
силпишки.
Cucumber Slice,
Цена может
Pappy as
начать
well.
расти. Пока
We can
что
read
тяжелые
through all
времена
of
в
these.
крипте.
Cucumber Slice
Не
main
вижу
concept
смысла
now is that
загадывать
it
какие-либо
retains and heals
цифры.
everyone. Pappy as well is now a retain, but instead of healing,
Да,
when
Папе
you draw,
ретейн.
you get a
Прикольно.
leaf. So yeah.
So the healing cards are, I mean, Papi is
Блин,
so
интересно же,
nice.
жалко, что это
I
только
mean,
один
having a
класс
retain is
рассматривается
like
сегодня.
having a value.
Всю неделю,
So if
даже
you don't
больше
wanna use
недели
it,
будут
you don't
рассматриваться
use it,
остальные
your
классы.
hand size just
Если
goes
ходим
bigger.
первым, выберите одну карту
That's
растений
good.
стопки сбросов,
And
в таком
also,
случае
like, the
выберите свои
effect when you
колоды.
draw is
Положите
decent.
выбранную карту наверх стопки, банишь. Но это, в принципе,
Cucumber
было
Slice is
как
straight up bad.
в нулевом
Straight up
сезоне.
so bad. Like, I don't see a way to use this card. Like,
Почти
no.
как в первом сезоне. В первом
because
сезоне
you
можно
draw it,
было ее
and
сразу в
there's
руку
no way you
положить.
can use it.
Я
The
про
first
Блоссом.
like 4 turns you can, or like 3
Да-да-да,
turns
Блоссом карт.
you have it in your
Even
hand.
50.
People only
heals
used it for
seems-
the healing buff anyway, right? Previously.
Yeah, previously even 50 you only use it for healing boost, and at the end you actually never use this card.
Так, ну давайте дальше, ребят. Это только глаза. Вы так много про глаза говорите.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Есть более важные карты. Глаза вообще, не скажу, что одна из самых слабых частей тела, но, в принципе, как и уши, не самое важное.
That worth it? Potentially.
ХС.
Hold on. Actually,
Пытается
on
что-то
chats, they're
сделать.
wondering that
Прикольное
Retain has
название канала
changed. It has not
Axie. Это кто? Привет.
Wacky in chat is saying that they've changed the retain, didn't they?
Ну,
But Retain
разрабы,
is different from
вот
Return,
действительно,
as far as
с
what I
Origins
understand.
скачают очень
Return
хорошо, разрабатывают
actually
очень сильно,
returns
действительно,
it to the draw
по-настоящему,
pile.
то, как
Yeah,
это
this
должно
is
so
быть.
you
different
actually
for the
don't get
retain.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, this actually stays in your hand. If that is different from the return mechanic that we saw earlier. So
I think
yeah.
Cucumber Slice at 2 costs is just probably way too much for what it does. Like 50 heal across the board, like the one thing we need to think about is all
Ну,
these other
смотри,
stats
апнули плентов,
became,
логично,
less
но
cost for the
у нас же есть
50.
еще и другие классы, в них тоже явно будут какие-то
There
изменения.
is potential for more like AoE or like some backdooring situations, so Cucumber Slice could be good. But I think at 2 cost 50 with no other bonus.
Еще вот интересно,
like, you
будут
need
ли
to
они
keep that in your
апать
hand for 5
суммонов,
turns.
Потому что сейчас суммоны, ну, по факту не используются игроками, они так, чисто приколюшка для среднего уровня игры. А пока я не вижу в них какого-то буста. Мне бы вообще хотелось, чтобы суммоны были, ну, хотя бы наполовину по силе, как Axie. Ну, ладно, не наполовину, хотя бы в четверть. Сейчас это всего лишь маленькое дополнение к игре, не более.
Yeah, but
Axie
the things
Infinity.
like Papi
Не могу,
and
какое
Cucumber Slice
классное
are the
название.
same slot, right? And one of them is really good, one of them is atrociously bad, right? So why would you use Cucumber Slice instead of Papi if you need a return? Retain.
Facts.
I guess it just depends on how the meta might shift. You never know. Like these are only the first 4 cards out of all the cards coming out.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna overreact.
У меня просто есть аксики с Папи и с Клевером. И вот интересно, имеют они смысл теперь? Ну, Папи мне нравится тем, что она всегда будет в колоде, если она выпала. 50 много ли хила? Нет, немного, но дается еще один лиф.
Makes sense.
Oh, Cucumber Slice is basically like telling healing players, don't even think about it. It's like, yo, we slapped you down, and then this is not even an invitation to try and come back with the Cucumber Eyes, but maybe, like we said, when we see a broader picture, there could be a bit more use. Eyes interesting though.
Maybe adding a leafy bot can change the mechanic.
Давайте дальше, ребят. Ну, вы уже 20 минут обсуждаете глаза.
Nice.
I just want to say that I think like even between the healing, maybe we're talking a lot about the healing, but most interesting for me was the other 2 cards for sure, with the Blossom and the Confusion. How there's so much more interaction with your deck instead of only like sending stuff to the graveyard or only looking for the deck. Like now you got the combination of both of those. Like Confusion now sends confused into the enemy draw pile.
Все-таки тяжело, они, во-первых, хилят, да, и тяжело рассуждать, потому что непонятно, что будет у других классов. Пока что я вижу, что хил поднят, и хил поднят очень сильно. Он не в цифровом значении, а именно в функциональном.
And we're gonna see so much more cohesion with those cards and in builds. So less useless Axies, I would say.
Love it.
Axie that had Blossom or
с яростью есть изменения на мистической руне, уже мы это видим. Вместо 2 ярости дают одну заход, но могут что-то... Ну, ты знаешь, нельзя рассматривать бестов и их ярость отдельно от самих бестов. Нужно понять, как они будут работать. Некоторые люди негативили на бестов, но зря. Бесты не такие уж и сильные, как оказалось, без мистических рун.
Got added functionality is where we like to be.
Whenever you add an extra layer, whenever you add an extra layer of complexity into the game, like another option.
Ну давайте же быстрее, давайте.
Possibilities, so it's always a plus.
Well, we've seen the first lot of cards. I think it's time to listen out for the next lot because it is.
Next, давайте.
Leafy is in those ears, so I want to know.
So everyone's aware, we've got a lot of cards right now. This is the first slide out of 11 slides, so this is a lot of information to churn through. This is gonna be fun, and let's go.
Bye.
Так, сейчас let's go. Ну, давай.
Ears. Oh gosh, let's see.
All right, we've got Leafy, Clover, and Rosa here. Clover is one of the cards that wasn't changed by the looks.
Так, ну по-моему все так и осталось, правильно? Роза Return стала, да?
We gotta see if Clover changes, right?
Leafy is the same.
Leafy is the same.
Let's start with the main culprit.
Чё, Роза слип на 4 хода накладывает? А было же на 2, да?
What do you guys think about
Так, плентоводы, скажите, насколько Leafy изменилось?
Let's go with spam, go ahead.
Oh no, I think Zelly's turn. Sorry. We should go in order. I don't want to.
All right. Zelly?
Okay, so what you can do with this, if you have Miracle Leaf on your Axie, and you cap your...
Да, Роза в руку возвращается, ну, нормально. Не могу сказать ни да, ни нет, но нормально. На 2 было, да.
So you deal Josh. I mean, like
Розы
I
урон
said,
меньше
no,
был,
150,
по-моему,
right?
30. Но Роза же
Insane.
не в уроне
Insane
имела смысл, а в...
Am I confused?
Так,
I'm
она
confused.
теперь не
You
рандомно
replay
бьет.
Leafy
Подождите,
more
Роза же
than
била рандомно.
Leafy
Теперь
at max stacks was
ходите
fast, right?
первый,
That's like
чтобы
150,
наложить
right? Leafy,
сон
Leafy,
It's the
right?
same.
на
It's the same
4
as
хода.
before. It's
Yeah.
just that you don't get capped at 5, so you just
Yeah.
keep growing.
You
Yeah.
can
And then
machine
go-
gun turn after turn.
Что-то я не
Yeah,
пойму,
as long
Роза
as
хуже
as
тогда,
long as your
получается,
deck
стала,
is
да?
producing leaves, like you can be playing leafies no matter
No,
what.
wait.
Like you don't have to wait
Yeah.
for them to recharge again.
Yeah.
You can basically
But
build
you have
up.
Mirror
Так,
an
сейчас
Cage,
ADC.
зайду
you can do
посмотрю,
80
как
per-
Лифи выглядит.
with this Leafy, right? Because
Сейчас.
20, then like 50 per Leafy, that's 70. Yeah, you can do 70 per damage. It's a lot.
It's always going to be consuming.
It's a lot, but
70.
getting to 10 leads should be hard.
The only thing is, I'm looking at
Так,
our
я теперь понять,
runes
зачем
and charms.
своих
And
бить,
4 of
слип
the
сбивать.
runes actually are related to leaves.
Yeah.
So there is something to note about that as well. It's going to be interesting to see that play out.
Так, а что
It
с этим
seems
не
leaves are
работает?
definitely the focal point for the plant so far. I think the idea of now being able to have a lot more leaves allows you to have a progressive play style with a leafy deck now. How that will obviously interact and how you guys will play it. I don't know. There's a lot of smart guys out there, smart girls as well.
Так,
But it
бред,
seems
если
like,
с
you know,
шарой
you
на
can
дальнего
really
сон
start,
повесить
like,
на 4 хода, это же
stacking
жопа,
up
если
these
нечем
and
снимать.
having an endgame option potentially.
Так, сейчас же
something like
слип
that.
по-другому работает. В
not
начале
the
видео
card
было.
itself, which is
Теперь
very
слип,
sad.
как в старой
That's true, that's
версии.
true. And now we've got Rosa. This is one
Блин,
of
сейчас
the
прошу прощения.
new
Теперь
things,
слип
actually.
можно
First, there's
снять,
no more poison. That's
потратив
out the
одну
window.
энергию
The only thing
атакующую.
that's here first,
Правильно же, да? всё?
we've got the new mechanic. We've got a return on this already, which means when you don't use Rosa, it stays on the top of your deck basically, and then you get to redraw the Rosa again. It does not increase your card count.
Так, а где Холлоу? Был же
So
еще
it's not
пень,
retained,
помните?
it's returned.
На
And then if
ушах был
initial, you
пень,
apply
Холлоу.
sleep
Куда его
for
дели?
4 turns, and then
Так,
vanish.
подождите. Лифи у нас же не поменялась,
doesn't hit
таким же
a
осталось.
random
Наносит
attack
3 случайных
anymore.
удара
Yeah.
So that is one
до
thing.
3 листьев.
So it hits the
Yeah,
front.
basically they,
Чтобы нанести 10
removed the
урона за
poison,
каждый
which was
потраченный
on-
лист.
on
Лифи,
just
получается,
uses
таким же
effect,
остался.
right?
Yeah, I don't know why
So
that was
changed
everything.
sequencing for the cleansing, so it now has like a
Еще
distinct,
Лотус
which is
карта
a
есть.
plus.
Это, видимо,
The
не все
return is really, really
показали.
nice on it.
Сакура,
You see
подождите,
yourself
на ушах
scamping
еще
this now that's
Сакура.
not random, and even when it was random before, people scamped it anyways. So I do like the return option. Oftentimes
Слип,
there were some
получается,
turns where
менее
you wanted
страшный
extra
стал
maybe
сейчас, но
single
он
button,
работает
and
по
you weren't
факту
ready to
как
put sleep into
Void,
damage.
то есть ты
However,
тратишь
the
одну
4 turns
дополнительную
seems like a
энергию.
little scary at first, but don't forget sleep now works kind of like
Что
a
именно
big
печально,
sleep.
Максим, не
You
понял?
can burn it off.
Что Лифи осталось
Therefore,
таким же?
Everyone's saying this is going to be really OP, really broken. There is going to be counterplay to it. Don't forget, it's still only a 40 base damage card. I think the strongest buff about it is the return, to be honest. But other than that, I think it's balanced. I think it looks good. I'm excited. I don't know if it's going to be strong. I don't know if it's going to be weak. I guess it depends on how the meta is. But I like the changes for sure. And I have a question
Понял
about
тебя,
sleep.
Максим.
Can you remove it with a 0 cost?
Порезали слип,
That was
порезали
something that
птиц.
was,
Так почему?
We can, I
Going
can
through my
Ну,
head.
как вам
I
сказать?
have
Одна
this,
потраченная
like,
энергия, это
is
очень много в
next time
нынешних
it
реалиях.
plays a card, negate
Yeah.
that card. So I
It is
guess
just a
it-
card.
yes. Yeah, any card. So
Опять-таки вот порезали
This is-
птиц.
this is
Я
also-
не могу сказать, что
Yeah,
птицы...
confident
Ну,
removes
особенно мы сейчас
sleep,
говорим про
basically.
прям большой топ.
So I'll just say, like,
Птицы в
Sam
топе
said,
так
he
пользовались
likes the
слипом.
return. This is not just
активно.
about Rosa, but I
Ну,
have a
хотя,
feeling,
как
personally,
механика,
that
да, наверное, это порезано. Ну,
return
посмотрим,
mechanic
вдруг
is gonna be
что-нибудь новенького у
extremely,
птиц
like,
будет.
niche to be used. I'm not a huge fan of like putting
Хотя я
cards
считаю,
back in your
слип
deck and then
довольно-таки,
drawing
ну не
less.
то чтобы
You
тупой
know, you
механикой,
design a
но
deck so that
не особо
you can go through
подходящей, мне
everything
кажется.
normally. So
Потому
I
что
think it could be good, but it could also
если
be
тебя
really bad. Like, let's say
заслипили,
you draw
у тебя,
Rosa
к
in
примеру,
your
там
first opening
только
hand.
карты
Now that
мертвых, ты
Rosa's
никак
gonna
не
keep
можешь
coming
снять,
back
все, ты
until you
проиграл.
actually use
Ну,
it.
хотя вы мне
Like,
можете
it'll be like a
возразить,
black
сказать, но в
mage,
этом-то и суть
basically.
Yeah.
слипа.
And but one good thing though is like
Еще и
if
Розу
you
в
do need
руку
the
положили,
Rosa and it's
ждем.
like on one of your backliners or something,
Да,
you
Роза
can just
ретейн.
use it without the initial effect, so it goes into your graveyard,
Блин, вот
and then you can get it later
болтушки,
to, like,
а?
use the sleep
Хочется
effect.
все уже карты
as well.
посмотреть
This-
и...
So there's still
Yeah.
some
Париться,
options
они,
there.
блин,
But in
рассуждают
general,
тут.
I would see this card being like played as soon as you get it because they need
Стан
to play a card
править.
to
Ну,
remove
это
it
вот мы только у
anyway,
рептилии
and that could
увидим,
build a
но это
lot
не
of
скоро.
tempo in the early game, where like if you return it, I think it's like negative tempo for yourself.
I think there might be connectivity though with obviously we haven't seen anything yet, but other cards maybe having the ability to things like scrying or discarding cards that are in your hand to remove that return mechanic, and then having other Axies that might have things like Blossom to be able to then bring it back when you do need it, so it can kind of still be on demand essentially. But
Ретейн, ретурн, разная
like he says, like you have to use it when you get it. And now actually using it doesn't feel bad, because using it before,
Сейчас
like, they could
не
just,
буду
it's
тут
just one
строить
turn,
из себя
essentially
знатока
switch to
английского,
transfer.
но,
Now they're
по-моему,
actually
это
gonna
же
have to
одинаковые
be forced
слова.
to play a
Return.
card, especially in early turns,
Я не
especially
прав.
turn
Тут
player.
есть две механики возврата.
A card, or most of the time it's not gonna be a zero cost, right? Yeah, it could work in your
That's true.
favor. So I think it's strong. I think it could either can apply pressure, or it
Ну
can
да, в
either
руку.
cause
Возврат в
pressure
руку, то есть
on.
перед тобой на
talking about
экране
applying pressure,
остается
we're gonna have to
карта.
apply pressure and move on to the next set of ear cards.
Let's go.
I think we have some that we're talking about in the chat. Obviously, Sakura. We still have Lotus and Hollow. Is it?
Yeah,
As
it's
well.
all coming. It's all coming. And all the plant cards will be showing up. This is not just new stuff. New and old will be showcased. Clover, as is still the old style. So that is one example of that.
Блин,
And
надо
yeah,
тут
let's jump
разобраться
right
с
to
этим
the next
return,
one.
retain.
Here we
О,
go.
вот,
We've got
вот,
more
вот,
ears. This
Sakura.
is gonna be fun. We've got Sakura.
О, Лотус
Hollow,
теперь две
and
карты
Lotus.
проклятия
Quickly
хилит.
browsing through
А
these,
с Сакурой, ну, по-моему, всё то же
shorter
самое, да,
text follow,
осталось?
summons a trunk. Same card by the looks of it. This actually loses 75 HP. The trunk has taunt. If that's still
По-моему,
the
так же,
same,
да,
then
всё
that's mostly the same. Lotus is a healer.
Ретейн просто висит, а
Removes two
return вверх
curse
колоды
cards from
падает и
the
возвращается.
deck. I don't
Вроде так.
remember if
У нас же
Lotus
изменили
was
уже
enough.
эту механику,
It's
теперь
one more
все
curse
карты
card
наверх на руку выходят.
than before. That's great.
And you get a target a shield now.
Надо, конечно,
before you
посмотреть,
can-
как это будет
That is
работать.
perfect, actually.
Yeah.
That is true.
Wow. Turn
That's
things
big.
around for
Lotus got
Lotus.
buffed.
Yeah, definitely turn things around for Lotus. Before
That's
Lotus was
insane.
really, yeah.
Так, давайте
tough
дальше,
to
тут
even
нечего
want to
рассуждать.
use it because it was just like, okay,
Тут
other
нечего
than the fact that I'm
рассуждать.
removing curse cards, why
That's
would
true.
I have?
Well, we saw some synergy with. I mean, we can see some synergy with Lotus and let's say, Shady.
Shady? Yeah.
Shady, yeah.
That could be a big one. Like you don't need Holy Prayer, right?
Ну да, все так же
Could be
осталось.
huge.
Множество
But I have a
было.
question. The Hollow and the
Sakura.
Sakura, aren't they exactly the same?
Yeah,
They look like it. Yeah.
But
They
I
look
thought
like-
only cards that were changed.
Oh, no, no.
Ну, Холлоу,
This is all the
да.
plant cards.
Yeah,
В
we're putting them
принципе,
all. I thought
что
it
с
was
него
just
взять, как
change ones as
говорится,
well.
пень
Yeah,
да
'cause I
пень.
thought we were told that it was only the change cards. So okay, now I get it. Okay, they're exactly the same. All right.
I'm
Because
sorry
if I
to confuse
remember,
that big brain of yours, mate.
because if I remember correctly, they wanted to see the whole dynamic of everything. That's why it's by part, and that's why everything is being shown. It used to be not like that, I guess, when you got the brief before. But yeah, right now it is everything, and I think this is gonna be everything moving forward as well. All eyes, all ears, everything for the plant cards right now. So yeah, I guess Lotus is the big one for this screen. Another thing that was interesting as well was we never actually saw a lot of the shield cards that targeted yourself or the Axie that owned it
Прошу
in
прощения.
the season, right? It was always the shield cards that targeted Axies that were very functional. And the shield cards that targeted all
Да
Axies,
подождите,
like Mary
подождите,
and-
Марс. Подожди,
and
это
Mint.
всего лишь
So this is
глаза
a
и
refreshing
уши.
change, I believe,
Как
which is
бы
quite
вы
cool.
не относились к этим
Thinking
частям
about
тела,
the
но это
other-
не
the
ключевые
other cards
части
that were
тела.
similar. Maybe we will see,
Надо посмотреть,
the
что
same
там
implementation.
дальше нам
That is
уготовано.
true.
I don't know, I don't know. Could be. And isn't much really else to say about the ears here? I mean, how do you guys in the panel? Is there anything else you'd like to touch on with the past 6 cards that we looked at? Or
I guess it's all good. There's not.
Okay,
a lot
Lotus
to
is
do.
good.
Yeah, about State Exchange and Lotus.
I just know that Lotus is gonna be legit.
Понимаете, вернемся к тому вопросу, который я вначале задал. Нам нужно понять, все ли у нас теперь плохо, нам нужно полностью менять составы, или все-таки мы можем играть дальше с тем, что у нас есть. Ну, короче, это развитие игровое, или все-таки опять из нас вытягивать Ого, Сириус неплохо поменяли. Гляньте, сколько слипов накладывает. Пленты. О, Фрагли накладывает.
with what you purchase, whatever. This is not like set in
Зигзаг.
stone.
О, вот это уже,
Very smart,
вот
very smart.
это уже действительно как-то делает посерьезнее Плентов.
Aside
go
from that as
crazy.
well,
Never be bold.
Serious.
now that you mentioned that, Steven, another thing is the PP structure is changing before, right?
Вот классно, да, Сириус? Если ходишь первым, наносишь 15 бонусного дамага и накладываешь слип на 2 хода на цель. Ай, стоп, на себя. Фу, что я несу? Сириус на себя накладывает слип, правильно? Слип to self на 2 хода. Все, прошу прощения. На себя накладываешь. Так, теперь Herbalife. На цель накладывается сон. Применяется сон на 2 хода. Зигзаг. На цель накладывается фрагли. Фрагли ослабляет щит. Наносится 20 бонусного дамага. Если фрагли уже есть. Я так, да, правильно это понял? Так, ну, Silence Viper, в принципе...
Wait, no, read that. Put yourself. Put yourself.
Something happened there.
Apply sleep. Okay.
What kind of plants are these?
These are wild plants. Zigzag now applies fragile as well. That is new. Silence.
Ну, получается, Сириус, видите, Сириус немножко ослабили. Можно выйти из слипа, а до этого карты причеркивались полностью. Правильно я понял, да? Если цель будет слип, да-да-да.
Six turns!
Давай дальше, мужики, давайте.
Before was 6 turns.
6 turns is only 4 turns, right? It only heals you for 2 turns, like from the.
Yeah, 2 turns. Yeah.
I know poison players.
Самое интересное, я не вижу увеличения в количественном показателе атакующих карт. Следовательно, подняли хп Аксиком и все. Ну, я считаю, позитивно. Вторая карта. Если на цели сон накладывает еще 2.
Answer to, maybe if there is comps that come out that are engineered around causing your Axies to sleep.
Так, а можно, пожалуйста, перемотать? Нет, нельзя, да? Это же Twitch. Хотел бы посмотреть, как слип работает все-таки. Так как я понял или нет.
Another 2 okay.
It's just a reality, because if you hit a sleeping target, they're gonna wake up.
Ребят, вы, наверное, как и я, да? Смотрите на новые карточки и ищете в них свои, да, которые есть на ваших аксиках.
Your goal is to just control them by putting them to sleep and then making them waste cards, and then you have like a bunch of healing nonsense in the background where like, okay, they're wasting cards, but they're dealing like 2 energy worth of damage every turn, and then you just like heal all that back up, then you put someone...
Напомню, Зигзаг до этого возвращал 50% разблокированного урона в виде подхиливания Аксика. Ну, да, не особо работающая механика под хил. Думаю, наложить фрагли это гораздо интереснее.
Serious, put yourself to sleep. You're gonna have to use another card afterwards in order to wake yourself up just for 15 damage. So basically, you're burning extra energy for 15 damage. At least from the mouth spot so far, it seems very underwhelming.
Давайте, ребятушки. Чё ж вы такие тугие, медленные?
Well, I think Sirius doesn't really have a downside. It's kind of like the same as Risky Fish, right? In the previous patch, where it's just like, oh, you swing in for this big 80 damage hit for 1 energy, but you're only doing that if you don't have any other cards that you want to play, essentially, right? Like if it's not initial, then you won't put yourself to sleep.
That's
You just deal 65 damage and you pay out the cards.
That makes sense. But also like when you're sleeping, if I'm not mistaken, you can't play any cards, right? It's not just attack cards.
Yeah, any cards.
Yeah, you have to spend 1 card to wake yourself up. But that could be any card that you play.
I mean, that's the thing. Sirius before in the Leafy archetype had no downside because you just Sirius and then play like a pumpkin or whatever, right?
Yeah, so non-attack.
Ой, бля, у меня же батарейка может.
Yeah. Now you
So
can
overall, I think it's a nerf though, right, guys?
Yeah, it's a nerf.
Right?
Definitely a nerf. Nerf in damage and in effect.
Yeah.
Because it was 90 before.
I guess the only way that it could not be a nerf is if it got 0 costs to play, but that is gonna be a lot to ask for plants that we got basically. And yeah, so...
Да нет, не все так просто, может что, не факт, что они заиграют. Если они лежали и ими не пользовались, значит была какая-то причина.
It's like
Пока,
Peacemaker,
кроме
right?
механики слипа,
It's
я
like
не вижу
Peacemaker,
чего-то
but they made
кардинального.
the,
Сказать,
the
что это
fragile-
сильно
the
повлияет
ability
на
effect
игру
4
еще
turns,
рано.
so Peacemaker's
Надо
abilities
посмотреть,
were
как это
for
можно
2 turns.
реализовывать. Но опять же,
So
слип у
maybe
кого
this is
был?
also
Ну, у
like,
птиц, к примеру, да?
you
Одна
know,
часть тела за слип
foreshadowing what all
отвечала,
the
шутинг
other
сонг
mouse
бывший.
cards could possibly be like as
Не
well,
сказал
where
бы,
they
что это прям
apply
как-то
some kind
сильно
of special
меняло
ability, but it also lasts
механику.
for 4 turns.
Но, если у
That's
каждого
true,
аксика в
But it
составе
seems
там
like
слип,
the
и
healing
как-то их
aspect
комбинировать,
of these
тогда это
mouth
может
cards,
заработать,
again,
да.
like I said, the patterns
Saints have
normally
enough
do
healing. It's
follow.
fine. It's fine. We're
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it is perfectly fine. But I'm talking more from the perspective of, okay, yeah, we still have 5 more days of cards that will be coming out. Zigzag normally follows suit with a lot of other mouth cards. Will we see the same thing or similar things around different effects?
Yeah, one thing though about the zigzag is that if you do the extra damage, you actually don't apply the fragile. So there's a lot of thinking involved there. Like you have to figure out, okay, well, how does the deck work? Am I using this for the extra damage, or am I using it to apply the armor debuff against what team? So I'm really enjoying, the different options some of these cards are beginning to get. I think that's what the game needed anyway. Everything was too one-dimensional, so now like.
Хотя, видите, зигзаг теперь работает как пробитие щита противника, армора. А актуально ли это для плентов?
Pust будет. I'm already excited to start playing with some of these cards because of how this is quite a lot of changes, man. We're gonna have to relearn the entire game.
It is.
Sure.
Should we jump to the next slides?
Yes,
О,
please,
давайте,
let's
next.
go.
Let us go. Now we're in the back.
Oh,
This is gonna be fun. We've got Turnip, we've got Shiitake, we've got Biden's.
Turnip,
first thing-
please do something for them because turnips ain't done nothing. They haven't done anything.
Quick look, Shiitake doesn't look like it's changed. Some of the mushroom.
Ну, тоже особо. Чисто Петру да не. Надеюсь, пораньше закончим.
Look, all the same.
They changed the wording on Biden.
Так, перешли...
Yeah, but it's the same. You
It's the
get
same, but they
Думаю.
changed the wording. So, I mean, like, does it mean something? Why does it say, until they don't have any debuffs?
Нет,
versus,
у нас
remove
уже
all
рога,
debuffs,
да,
right?
идут?
So that's why
Нет,
I'm
не
wondering, like,
рога.
there's some kind of interaction with something else.
That happens with
Спина.
all.
I think it's just to be more clear.
Ну, получается,
There was
здесь
an interaction because
Байденсу,
when we were reading Cleanser earlier, we were
дедушке
talking more about stats and everything.
Байдену
So, we'll see.
добавили клинс.
Maybe because we've now reworded
Все,
things
что я
to become
вижу
stats
здесь в различиях.
and turns, that they've just reworded this to be as clear as
Шитейк
that.
призывает
Oh, yeah,
гриб.
where is Pumpkin?
Yeah.
So mushroom
we've
did
got
change.
more slides. Yeah.
Mushroom did change because now it heals everybody on the team,
Yeah.
right? So that's
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
what
Биденс
and
был
Turnip,
клинс
I
на
assume,
любую
like, they probably fixed
цель.
a bunch of bugs with
Так,
it or something, 'cause it literally was like broken in
Yeah,
every
it was
patch.
broken the
Сейчас.
entire.
Так и сейчас
So,
таргет
yeah,
Эниэля.
hopefully now it actually works the way it
Cleans.
does. I remember there was one time where like if you
Ретейн.
killed
Ну
the
да, все таки
enemy
осталось.
summon,
You
they
get
would
them.
get like infinite energy
Yeah.
That
or
was
something.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah,
Maybe.
some stuff like that.
Так, вот
Yeah, guys,
Until.
Turnip-
А как
Turnip's
перевести
actually
дальше?
gonna be good. I
Вот
really think
Ellie
if the Venom's
until
more
they
balanced
don't
last season,
have
we would've seen more
any
summons.
debuffs
Turnip
left.
would have had a place, especially if it worked. So,
That's true.
yeah, don't
I do
forget,
think we are
guys.
teasing it though.
Yeah.
The
No, I
mushrooms have
really do think this
24
will be
health
used.
and we doing 25 damage.
Так, у меня села камера.
You're gonna have to
Сейчас
increase those
быстренько
things.
батарейку поменять.
All
With,
right.
with runes, with charms, with those types of things. Well, with
That's
runes
true.
potentially, isn't it? The neutral
That's true. Let's jump to the next slides. I think we're okay with the backs. Everything looks clear. Now we've got watering can,
Yeah.
mint, and pumpkin. Let's have a quick read. Mint,
Так, ну Пампкин такой же,
white
да,
cleanser,
остался?
shield all allies. That looks the same. Pumpkin.
Минт,
The numbers are the numbers
минт,
the
минт,
same.
минт. Ну да.
Yeah, I would say.
All the
All
same.
the same. Everything's
Ну
the
вот,
same.
Вотинкан, лейка
Mixer.
такая
I
же.
mean,
Pure
no,
water
yeah,
is
no.
nормально.
Watering can change.
And that's perfectly fine. I think
Так,
these
Yeah,
cards
I
will
don't
all
think
be
it needs
solid
changes.
already.
Actually, watering can change because like now it's capped at 3 pure waters, and before you can get every pure water you like in the board. Because like for example, that's why watering gun wasn't played anymore. Because if
You
you,
got too much.
play watering gun and they
There was a last patch that
AoE,
capped that, right?
You have no hand.
No. What he's saying now is when you get hit, you can only get a max of 3 cans into your hand.
Yeah.
So if you're playing as AoE and they hit all your Axies, you won't be filled with a handful of watering cans anymore.
Yeah.
So
Because
actually, watering cans is more playable in that sense, is what he's saying.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because the nerf that happened actually was you can only play a maximum number of pure waters. You can play maximum, but you don't get a maximum number of pure waters when your Axies get hit. Now that solves that problem. So if you get hit by 3 believers, basically, you'd have 9 pure waters.
Actually, it's also partial nerf because it says here next turn after the
Лейку ослабили, да? Я так понимаю, теперь не на всех аксиках он накладывается.
If anybody got hit, you get a pure water. So now the one that you put the
Обратите внимание, какой гашеный арбузик получается.
So in reality, they shouldn't have capped it if that's the case. If it's just like one target. Now we don't know what happens in the game. Maybe they left the previous mechanic, but the wording.
Так, а что у нас за следующая часть тела? Ну пока я не вижу каких-то кардинальных изменений. По факту осталось все как есть.
That's a nerf then. That's a nerf then.
Yeah, then it would be a nerf in that case.
There's a bit of outplayability as well there.
Now a lot of cards are retained, right? So like if you have a lot of retains, and you don't tap this.
Вот рога интересно посмотреть и, наверное, хвосты.
So like it depends on how you build your deck if you consider this a nerf or a buff, right? Because the pure waters are not like super good. It's just like
Да, рога и хвосты более интересны. 3 лейки можно
Sorry,
получить за раз максимум, а раньше без ограничений. Типа, так блин, в прошлый раз тоже вводили ограничения на эту лейку, но я так и не заметил. Ну посмотрим, заработает это или нет. Но пуры воты 3 штуки, но это же копейки, по 6 хп восстановления. Почти бессмысленно.
Fill the player's hands with pure waters as a hindrance. So, like you were saying, Zelly, we have a lot more retain cards potentially in the plant category as well. So the ability that if it is the target that needs to be attacked to receive the pure waters, it just makes it, I think, a bit better for the user, where they're not always going to get bogged down with the max amount of cards, even though there is a cap. So
that is true. You are right. And so consensus: watering can got nerfed. Mint and pumpkin stayed the same. They're okay to be the
same. Pumpkin такой же остался.
I think that is this slide. Do we have anything from the chats? I think we're okay. Chats are like next. Pumpkin too solid.
Next. If it's not new, I don't want to hear about it, bro. Oh my god, no.
Alright.
What is going on?
New stuff. We've got horns. We've got horns. This is gonna be fun.
Yo.
Alright.
Hold up.
Bamboo meta, let's go.
Alright, we've got bamboo spear, we've got beach, we've got rosebud.
Блин, бич становится очень сильной картой.
Right now, I want to hear from Zio though. Zio, what do you think about this?
Здорово, Андрюх. Да я охерел, они карту мощную сделали.
Yeah, and also with I used to have a bamboo spear with some lips, so.
Просто бич была вообще бесполезная карта. Она щит накладывала и удар, а теперь, в принципе, это хороший вариантик такой. Это получается, что, самая мощная карта сейчас, да, в колоде? Что ты на работе, Андрюх?
This is a powerhouse. Bigger in all senses. That's why.
Beach, man!
Oh my god. Yeah, bitch.
Beach is going crazy. People are going crazy in the chat right now talking about they're about to go scoop a beach.
А как бамбу работает?
Just please think about it first. But it does look like
это такси генерирует один лифт, гейн, один монстрный лифт, когда спир-карты в твоей деке. Спир-карты это что за карты? Что-то я не в курсе. Да, я понимаю, бич снимает все секреты с противника, то есть это карта против рефлекторов. Так, ну Роза такая же, да, осталась? Да, Роза простая механика, просто хилимся.
Bamboo spear looks solid as well. I don't know if we've been on the leaf topic for most of this
we'll
stuff.
Have to see the rest of the horns. Like I want to see how cactus is to see if it's worth sacrificing for like bamboo spear, because to make bamboo spear really good, right, you're gonna need another 2 in the deck, when usually you want like 2 cactuses and whatnot, especially if we're talking
Я надеюсь, когда буду смотреть бестов, у меня тоже будет меняться в лучшую сторону выражения лица.
So we'll have to see the rest of the horns to see if it's good enough to overtake it.
So,
Beach
what's our
is good.
consensus?
Ну, я так понимаю,
Because
они из
they
бестов
suck
пытаются... Ой,
with
из бестов,
Beach.
из плентов
My
пытаются сделать
Yeah.
более-менее такую
Oh yeah, the
общую,
fragile into it.
команду.
What kind of damage is that? Anyone got quick maths?
Но
Who wants
опять
to
же
quick math
могут
me right
другие
now?
классы
Fragile
просто
beach right now
цеплять
isn't
одну
doing
эту
damage.
карту и хватит. По 3 лифа можно
Fragile
за
is
юз
well,
получить, по
It
идее.
doesn't upgrade the damage.
Yeah.
Что такое спир карт?
Reduces your
in
Oh,
your
shields
deck?
that you get.
Yeah,
It's
I'm-
vulnerable that I think
I'm
you're
vulnerable.
after.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
vulnerable right now because I'm thinking about vulnerable.
All
Well,
good,
like,
all good.
I think
There-
we can go to the next horn slide, right?
yeah, let's go, let's jump.
Cactus is
Rosebud
important.
though stayed the same though before we move.
Yes.
Next,
Yeah,
давайте,
that's
guys.
something.
Still a great
Next.
card.
All right, let's go. Let's jump to the next slide right now. Here we go. We've got cactus, we've got strawberry, we've got watermelon. A quick look. Same strawberry.
Watermelon's the only
same
that changed.
cactus.
Watermelon,
Cactus,
по-моему, по-другому, да,
5 damage
работает?
Only.
Oh yeah,
Cactus
the
чуть
actual
слабее
red
стал.
numbers used to be
Mhm.
65, right? And then now it's
Yeah.
60. That's one change. Watermelon, if the target has sleep,
Ooh.
the attack
Ну,
gains
Страубери
15
такая же
bonus
осталась.
damage and
Спир карт,
deals
это, видимо,
pure
как
damage.
орехи на бестах. Я просто,
Nice.
ну, я
Strong.
Yeah.
не вижу
I like
спир
it from
карты
first
у
glance, but it
плентов.
seems
Я не знаю,
very
какие это карты.
specific. It seems very
Yeah,
niche.
we'll have to see how usable pure damage is because most of the time you're gonna have to attack and follow up for other attacks. So either way, you're hitting into the shield.
Yeah. Oh, and aside
No,
from that, at quick
hold on,
glance,
hold on.
then- yeah, go
Does
ahead.
watermelon with the pure damage, does that mean that it doesn't proc the sleep?
Potentially, and that's the only thing I can think. Like,
Because
No
like
idea.
if that happens, then
Watermelon
that's
работает
cool.
как раньше в
Yeah,
старой
yeah,
версии.
yeah.
Шутя.
Watermelon
Yeah.
herbivore is
it doesn't
wild.
do damage, right? Like pure damage goes through shield, whatever. Like
Yeah.
that. I mean, watermelon's strong.
Watermelon
in that
herbivore
sense.
is wild, bro. Think about it. You gonna keep them asleep and then pure damage them after they still sleeping? Extra turns as well.
But
Yeah,
you
that's
can
what we
wake them
don't
up from
know.
That'd
attack.
be too
That's what
much.
we gotta-
Yeah, I believe it would wake up because I think
Ну,
what they're
кстати,
going at is playing
что
how
я могу
strong
уже сказать? Надо,
used
конечно,
to
другие
be in
классы
V2
смотреть.
as well,
Получается,
where
они не
it went
сломали
under the armor,
экономически
right, in V2, and then
игру. Ну, в том
they
плане,
removed
что если
the
у вас
No idea.
были
Okay.
Акси,
Wait, guys,
планты, вы на них
sleep-
играли, вы и
sleep's
продолжите
effect, you
на
don't
них
wake them
играть.
up when
Нет
you
такого,
attack.
что все, карта
You
стала
did?
на
Yeah, yeah,
10-15
yeah.
пунктов
I thought
слабее,
sleep was
и
you
все.
had to burn a card.
Беда. Нет,
No, no,
no,
все
sleep-
нормально.
sleep is
When they're
uh,
attacked, they wake
yeah.
up, and if they play a card, they wake
Вот,
up.
кстати,
Yeah,
Watermelon
I have been saying that.
бесполезная карта была.
I do have an
до
update
этого
on the back
момента.
cards, which we were just talking about. I know we just moved off of those, but Watering Can actually is still going to be propped on all axes.
okay.
Okay,
Alright.
okay.
So
Then another huge update, which does change a few talking points, is that Cucumber is actually going to be a 1 cost.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
hold on.
Hey, now we're talking. Now
Wait
we're
a minute.
talking.
Now we're
There we
talking.
go.
Vegans
I mean, we can go back. We
I
can
knew
go
there was
back.
no way.
Да, по Watermelon я так и понял.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I thought the same. I thought the same thing.
Bro, I was trying to stay positive for the community.
I mean, it's
man.
still
Oh,
bad,
this card's
man.
garbage. I was
Bro,
like, this
just
is
be
bad.
honest. Just be honest. I think it's best if we were honest anyway. I was
No,
surprised.
we have enough assholes in here. I was trying to.
Кактус такой же, только
Hey,
асфальт.
hey, hey, hey.
Watermelon
Calm,
бустанули.
calm. all right. Good fun. And so Cucumber, 1 cost card that changes things. Do you guys want to look at it again, or you're happy with the effect?
Ну, видимо, сон накладывают, чтобы замедлять игру.
Like, Axie
Что темп
got a
сейчас
high damage
очень
nerve,
очень
that's it.
быстрый боксер.
Yeah. Watermelon. We need to find out if pure damage wakes up or doesn't wake up.
Ай,
That's
ребят,
a
давайте
question mark that
быстрее.
we'll find out, and then we'll answer
Тут-то
in the later
осталось.
days. But yeah, good to know. Watermelon could potentially be busted, is the thing.
Yeah.
It's
So
about
yeah,
time.
good
Watermelon.
stuff. Happy with the horns? Should we proceed to the next slide?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
get your tails out.
Boom, here we go. We've got Carrot, Cattail, and Hatsune. That's a lot of text.
Wait. Let's
Котейл
recap.
лечит?
Carrot.
Ух ты, а вот это... Так, давайте разбираться, вот это интересненько.
Two bonus
Давайте с
energy
Кэрота, с
fragments
морковки
if this
начнем.
attack breaks.
Генерирует 1 энергетический фрагмент, дает 2 бонусных энергетических
that is
фрагмента,
60
если
damage.
эта атака сломала щит противника. Ага, то есть планты на Кэротах теперь мусор.
I like it a lot.
по-своему
Until it became a
или
hero.
нет.
Target, you could
Так,
target
Котел,
target.
теперь это карта
Yeah,
хила.
Talk
Yeah,
to
let's
me.
go one by one.
and then you play
Let's go with Carrot first. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's
Прикольно,
normal,
интересно.
more balanced because of
Ну,
the
Котел, он опять какой-то бесполезный остается. Не вижу я пока его
One thing
применения.
that I can
Так,
notice
Хатсан
about character
меняет
is
свою
we're now
особенность.
getting energy fragments instead of an energy for the
А
turn.
фрагли
So
это же
that is
ослабление
something
щита,
that I
правильно? А
think
как Хатсан
needs to be thought
ослабит
about.
щит?
Like, what is the
Нацельтесь
value
на
of
любого
energy
своего,
fragments
следующий
forever
ход.
to boost your energy
Наложите
by
фрагли
1
на 4
in the
хода
future turns
на
compared to
следующую
getting
цель.
an
Короче, я
energy
запутался. Ладно.
like how Carrot is right now for the turn, basically, is a
Wait,
question.
whose
It's a
phone is
ramp
blowing
up
up?
card.
by
It's
the
a
way?
ramp up card. Yeah, someone's phone keeps going off.
Someone's
It's a
phone
ramp
is
up card.
blowing up, bro.
I mean, if there's a lot of other ramp up cards, Carrot can be good, but just reading what the card does here on a vacuum is just whatever.
It's unknown still, is it, for you? Until we see
Yeah.
energy fragments.
If you can build a deck around
Хатсан
getting
накладывал
energy
страх.
fragments and then, like,
Это
doing
было
something
довольно-таки
big
эффективно
as a payoff,
у
it's good,
многих
but then
аксиков.
if that doesn't happen, it's really bad. Is it
Что
really
думаете
like,
по этим
why
картам,
would you
ребят?
use it that there, right?
Yeah, it's not one of, but it's just like any other card game when you have decks
Yeah.
that, you know, some of them are built off ramping, late game and everything like that. So
Нацельтесь на любого союзника. На
That's
следующий
good.
ход
Second,
примените
you saying you
хрупкость
would
на
like
4 хода к
Kato?
следующему противнику, получившему любой щит.
I like Gato because before, like, it's kind of like Ant in a way that.
Ну какая-то ерунда. Получается, тебя противник бьет, если у тебя Хатсан щит, и получает хрупкость. Ну, это какая-то туфта. По-моему, страх отрабатывал гораздо эффективнее, мне так кажется.
On healing at
Yeah.
least. I mean, healing is kind of dead, right? But like, I'm pretty sure someone will figure it out. So like, Gato brings out.
А вот
like,
Котел
an option
прикольно, он
to, like,
отхиливает
not having to use Ant, right?
и на
Or
себя
maybe Ant
стягивает
gets changed or
удар.
something like that, right? So, but I really like those.
Ну, интересно. Ну, не, на самом деле интересно, просто нужно научиться это применять. Да, я считаю, Хатсан заговняли карту. Аналогично считаю.
And you can obviously
И вообще как-то хрупкости добавили, ну, по крайней мере, у Плентов. Неужели у нас будут щиты на репах какие-то стоять огромные, невменяемые? Ну, вряд ли же. По цифрам мы видим, что мы в пределах остаемся. Кэрот прикольная карта. Она, получается, атакующая и способствует набору энергетической маны. Вот этого энергетического всплеска нового, который мы уже
Everyone's
активно
saying rest in peace
используем.
Hatsune though. I'm sorry, Phoebe, I'm cutting you off. Everyone is
Не
saying
надо
rest in
бить,
peace
просто фрагель
Hatsune
тому,
though.
кто
Yeah.
щит получит.
Did we talk about it? Like,
I mean,
wh-
just
why
read,
is-
just
why
read
is
the
it
read the text.
So
Like,
I
obviously
think
it's trash.
I think the idea is very simple. Like they don't want this shield.
Подожди,
only being played with
хрупкость
shields. They don't want,
получает
like,
противник, даже
healing
если не
only played with
ударил.
healing. They want you to mix and match stuff in your comps. So Hatsune now is like suddenly this counter to.
Ну, блин, не то чтобы заговняли тогда. Получается, Хатсан раньше работал против ударных команд, а теперь будет работать против защищающихся. Ну, не знаю. Так, ну у нас еще несколько карт осталось, в принципе, на этом всё.
I think
Yeah,
from
if
everything
you look
we've
at
seen,
if you look at the other plant cards, you know, it seems like plants shifting more towards aggro based. And what's aggro's weakness? Like heavy shield and whatnot. So it does have a use, I guess.
Про
Especially
арка
when we see other
бестола
classes, some
говорит.
of them might really heavily rely on shields. And let's say those classes like bugs or reptiles and whatnot might be top tier. Then maybe like an aggro plant deck might, you know, this might work in on it. But yeah, at first glance, we're all gonna miss that fear for sure.
yeah,
that
Hatsune
makes
was
sense.
a top tier shield card, but I think we're gonna see a lot more like variety within each of the classes now as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're having a moment of silence for Hatsune, basically.
One combination we already saw was the zigzag, right?
Mhm.
Where like it does extra damage.
Yeah, you can
based
extend the
off of,
fragile.
like, fragile or whatever as well. So there's some weird stuff going on for sure, but I think we will, like, as players, it's our duty to find the stuff that works well together. People found a good way to play Hatsune before, but I think like now it's just a completely new game, a different game, and you're just gonna have to find new combinations.
Also,
Yeah,
what I
pivot.
like it is that they're changing cards that had like other cards that did the same, right? Because like Hatsune was the same as Graveland, right? So like changing Hatsunes makes sense if they don't want to change Graveland, right? So like you have 2 cards that do different things, right? So you have more options.
Yeah,
So
more
I feel
variety.
like that's really cool.
Dope. Well, we only have 3 more cards left after this, right? The last of the tails.
Давайте, последние карты.
Yeah, let's jump right to it.
Так, ну ям остался такой же.
Yam's the same.
Hot buff вроде бы такой же. Potato leaf.
Targeting any ally now instead of
Potato leaf.
Healing as well.
Теперь он накладывает слип на противника. Вау. Hot buff теперь не защищает, а хилит.
Potato leaf, target any ally. It's a limit. That means limits changed as well. Whenever you use a second potato leaf, you get the effect. Oh, you get the shield, but not the effect. Which is next turn when the target gets attacked, apply sleep to the attacker for 2 turns.
That was a big complaint about the scaly spoons and the reflectile shield. So I wonder if we'll see that transition over as well. If is that limit as a whole changing?
The limit as a whole is changing. Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see this play out. What do you guys think about this one? Let's hear from who wants to talk. Spam.
Next, sorry.
I mean,
I said next.
Even.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Test?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean, everything looks same for me. Hot Light Yam. Potato Leaf is interesting, but I still feel it looks kind of underwhelming. Sleep for 2 turns, like, if you know what your opponent's Axies are, you're just gonna be able to play the first card or the Axie card that
Ну, я вам так скажу, это, мне кажется, даже полезнее, потому что Hotbat использовали сборки, которые глубоко сидят, даже не в обороне, а в хиле, поэтому дополнительный хил здесь польза даже, мне кажется, для Hotbat.
I think they were like trying to make it, low first and just see how it works and then try to bring it up later. It also has limit on it, so if you have other potato leaves in your
Просто
deck,
Hotbat, видите, в чем смысл? Hotbat как был скиллом, так и остался скиллом, поэтому сама суть не меняется.
Maybe a little bit more shield or something.
The only thing is limits changed. You can play it. You just don't get the effect again, basically.
Oh right. I actually did we see that? I didn't see that.
That's one of the new changes of stage
cool.
1, I believe. So yeah, you have the same shield. So if you've got
Давайте
you
сразу
get another
покажите
60
другие
shield,
классы,
but
вот
you
вы,
don't get
конечно
the
ж,
extra stack of applying
растянули,
to the attacker.
But overall, I'm not like it
Overwhelmed by any of these.
it's not. It
These
seems
are
very
very
underwhelming
underwhelming.
for now.
Yeah, but I think the sleep effect could be strategically worked. Like say for example, the Axie was you've already made an Axie sleep. It uses a card to wake up, then it attacks, and then it's asleep again.
Ну, давайте подводить какие-то выводы. Напишите свое мнение, что вы думаете. Можно общее мнение по всем картам, можно по какой-то отдельной карте. Я могу сказать, что главную информацию я получил. У нас меняется чуть механика игры из-за того, что добавляется много слипа. Но в общем и целом сборки не нарушается. Я не вижу прям каких-то кардинальных изменений. Хотя могу ошибаться. Я не видел еще
Stealthing itself before. Yeah, you're right. And yeah, this is everything. These are all the parts. I believe
I'm gonna miss stealth so much, guys. I think it had a potential, and Tilly was
I hate you so much, man.
So, yeah. Wait, I think really not gonna miss stealth? I mean, I think it had potential, like with maybe a buff or something like that.
Большая разница, когда соперник щит пропадет, а хил.
It was really cool, like sometimes. Well, actually,
все-таки фишка в картах, которые намешиваются в колоду. То есть, если успевает противник намешать 4 или 6 карт, все, колода засорена капитально.
You're very stunned.
I understand that they have to implement more cards with sleep.
Wait, guys, hear me out, okay?
Правильно, вот этот парень сказал, что очень много карт
the
слипа.
Terminator is back, okay?
Oh,
you just have a bunch of sleep on the back, then you
Ну да,
have
слип
potato
заднего.
leaf, right? So you sleep them, they remove the sleep, they attack you, they're slept again.
I like
Then
it.
you
I
have to
like
use
it.
Breed it,
another
boys.
card.
Breed it. Breed
I
it.
like
Breed
this.
it.
Terminator's back, baby.
Right,
Hey,
let's
but
head
we
on
saw
over to
what
the marketplace.
Terminator did. The Terminator last
You know-
game V2 was it was an absolute dominant
Dude,
force. So
We said we want, like, people were saying they wanted, you know, a game like V2 in V3, and there you go. You know, they're like, the devs are like, you know, oh, fuck you guys, we're gonna put Terminators back into this game. That's what you wanted, right? Here you go.
That's true. That's true. It's the first time as well we've seen things that
Ну, под
apply
shield, да,
things like
получается.
this on shields, because that means it goes longer. We haven't seen a sleep trigger on a shield before, and that is something new. That leads to double sleep turns, as you said. So yeah,
Yep.
it is gonna be
Exciting.
wild. All right, let's buy our potato leaves. Hold on.
It's just fun. If the Terminator does come back, that's gonna be awesome because it's kind of sad that like the best 1v1 unit
Я бы не
in
сказал,
this
что
origin was
перчик
just like a staller or
в
someone that just
нейтральном
uses
положении
Kestrel,
таком.
you know. But at least now we have a bunch of cards that
Хотя по
synergize
факту, да,
and
в
can,
чем-то
like,
это ап.
you know, really mess someone up. Like
Makes
extend, yeah, multiple cards that extend sleep and whatnot.
wow.
Okay,
I mean, this sets
that
the
is
stage
wild.
for a lot of obviously other cards are going to come into this. We've seen, you know, plants really, to me, in my opinion, I think this is a massive shift on what plants kind of aim to do in terms of archetype. If we look at like what plants are, if you know, I'll open this question to any one of you guys. If you were to deem plant as an archetype as such right now, so we're talking pure, you know, 6/6 plants. Like what kind of Axie are we looking at here?
I mean, healing still the cards with the healing. I feel like they won't go on the plant class no more. If there is a healing archetype, those healing cards will go on that archetype. But plants itself, like it's a no-brainer that Leaf looks strong. I don't think it's gonna be busted. I don't think it's gonna be like end game at
Блин,
first
я
glance.
засыпаю.
But you know, don't
Не,
forget.
я
the
сейчас
game's
слушаю,
2
честно
months
говоря,
away
я
from
понимаю, о
being
чем
out,
речь,
so
но...
we'll see. If they really want to target push plants in the direction of Leafs, then it's probably gonna have to get a little buffed, in my opinion.
Cool.
Well,
Smart.
I think they're already
Awesome.
naming it the Potatonator. I like it.
No, we gotta call it the 1437, bro. Like, if
Bro,
he
no.
creates
Demon
it,
Soul.
said you first.
Terminator.
You know
There's
what's
a
funny?
lot.
I've been playing this game for so long. I had like so many new builds and everything. There's never been a 1437 Axie. I remember the bug Axie from V2. It ended up being called the Elizol bug or something. I don't even know what it would end up being called, even though I was the first one to have it.
Sorry,
That's
bro.
just life.
Maybe you win more championships, man.
Yeah, bro. Like do better or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just play better, bro. It's not like you already accomplished so much. Just play more.
His name all your axes 147.
One will stick. At least one of them.
Так, ну
Oh, I
что,
like some
надо
of the
закругляться
Divinator.
уже,
I
да?
like that one. That's
me, that's me.
Divinator.
Alright.
Nice.
The
We got a
Divinator.
plan.
You could, yeah, you could.
But no,
Um,
seriously though, guys,
Literally,
like,
create the
I've-
Zelinator. Compete with him. Go. Steal his Axie.
So
Yeah,
I think
lots
in
of-
general though, like all the cards and the changes, I feel like it's trending towards the right direction.
that's good to
Just
hear.
having seen the plants only, every class I think it's gonna have its identity, and that was kind of what was missing in the other seasons.
Сейчас такая мысль
where it was
пробежала,
like,
что
oh,
все
this is,
равно
like, the best possible
какие-то
cards,
аксики
whatever
могут
parts.
стать сильнее
Now it's like, okay,
благодаря
know
некоторым картам,
plants are
но
about,
именно сейчас я не вижу
the
кардинальных изменений.
leaves
Может быть, конечно, кто-то
and
придумает
the
что-то из
sleep
этого
and,
новое,
like,
Yeah.
these buffs and
но радует,
debuffs
что
and
прям не
whatnot.
кардинально, а
And then
хотя бы
we're gonna see like
немножко.
what the other
Everything else
classes
does.
are about too.
Yeah, man.
So
Забавно,
I feel
да,
like
как
the
они
game
стали
completely
презентовать
new,
карты, прям
completely
целые
different,
трансляции.
and we can
Ну,
see it just from
медийку
different
они
plans as well.
начинают повышать,
Nice.
это
That is
потрясающе,
good to hear.
это
That is
прям
good to
здорово.
hear indeed. And that is all of our plant cards. And that is our show for today. How do you guys feel about it, our guests? Any final words before we head off? Let's go one by one, I guess. Should we start with Spam?
Yeah, I had a great time with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. These are some of my favorite people in the scene, the people I got to speak with.
Ладно, что,
People I
ребята,
really respect.
все посмотрели, все увидели, спасибо вам за то, что были со мной.
It's an honor to,
На этом будем
be a part of,
закругляться.
this show. Because I think this week is going to be hype.
Ты-ты-ты-ты.
We love you too, man.
Nice.
I wasn't talking about you though. I don't love.
Bye-bye.
I don't care. I don't care. That's all.
Go ahead, Zelly.